Yet I will be ripped apart before I choose a side. Yet the shadow of glass beneath my feet cuts this godforsaken street. Why can't we make things disappear? Steal the poison from our tears. Oh, crooked crosses pinned on the wall. Slow destruction of our childhood home. High illusions, they're seen no more, no rocky crosses pinned on the wall. Slow destruction of our childhood home. High illusions, they're seen no more, no
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. I don't know what's happened to StreamYard, lads, yeah, but they've defo changed something because we've got a black background, and I'm not entirely sure why that's happened. I'll put the Looney Tunes one on. That's where's the Etihad Stadium? There we go. They've changed. I don't know what's happened here, yeah, but they've changed all the comments and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, guys, make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. A little bit of a different show today, guys, because I know a lot of you guys are always in the comments. You're always asking us, LB, why is there empty seats? LB, what's the protests about? Yeah, a lot of you guys are not in the UK. You don't fully maybe know what's going on. Now, the lads have been doing streams on various different channels. They've been on We Are 8090, We Are the South Stand. They've been on Mancunian Way as well. But we thought we'd bring it here as well to let you guys know exactly what's going on. We've got Nick, who works with the We Are 1894 group, and we've also got Chris, who I think you're with the Trade Union Blues. Is that right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. Big up to both of you. So, Nick, let me start off with you. First of all, just quickly give us an introduction about what the We Are 1894 group is, and then we'll speak a little bit about last night as well.
Well, I'm new as a member myself, to be honest. Past couple of years, I've been helping out anyway. I've known Dante a long year. I'm actually part of it, joined in, got involved in leafleting last night. Obviously, it's mostly atmosphere side of us with the banners, the flags, everything like that. But obviously, we get involved in other stuff as well. We have a WhatsApp group. We know what's going on. Obviously, we liaise with other stuff like with Chris for the Trade Union Blues, other podcasts, other groups like the Food Bank.
Yeah.
Try to make things better at the end of the day, because it can't just be like I've said to a lot of people, I'm okay. My seems to be pretty cheap. It can't just be about me. It's about everybody. So we've all just got to jump in. But the atmosphere, we'll try and do stuff with the club. They will work with us on some stuff. Some stuff they can go back on, but we do try and have a good relationship with the club as well. So it's not a slag off the club sort of thing. It's we will work with you.
Mm-hmm. All right, big up. Chris, what is it that you guys do?
Well, we're a new group. We founded about 2 or 3 months ago. Just basically a few like-minded people who we got in touch with mutual friends, and we looked at the way football's going with the pricing, the kids being priced out, just everything going up, just generally everything being harder, and we just put it together with the way that general life is going. And we thought, well, if we're trade unionists outside of football, why can't we come together and use our experience and what the workplace has taught us, and try and use that to make life better for football fans as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, fair enough. Big up to both of you. Yeah, well, we'll come to that in a few minutes' time about everything that's going on, man. But listen, last night it was a big game, wasn't it? And fair play to the boys. They got the job done.
Just gonna try and get somewhere else, lads.
Yeah, no worries, Nick. Yeah, no worries. Fair play to Doku fair play to Nunes as well. You know what I mean? Especially Nunes. He's had a bit of a tough year, hasn't he? He got a bit of criticism, but yeah, what was it like last night, Chris? Was you at the game?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was the atmosphere when the winner went in. You know, it's probably the best I've seen it at the Etihad this season. And I just think like now, even though the performances aren't vintage Pep, he's decided he's got his spine of his team now, and he's saying, right, I've trusted in these. These have got me this unbeaten run now, so I'm going to put these together, and you know it's working for him. You know, he just needs the results this season, and you know we know it's going to be a transition season, so all he cares about at the moment is the results, which is something we've not seen from Pep in the past. Really, he's stuck to his system, whereas now he's had to. He's had to just change it up a little. But
have you seen our form in 2025? Did you see that table that's going around on Twitter today?
Yeah, I've saw it before.
Yeah,
mad, isn't it? It's crazy.
Go on,
Nick. What are you saying?
I think it's ended up with like only 4 points behind Liverpool. We're second in the form table.
Yeah. This season we've lost the same amount of games as Arsenal this season. You know, it feels like it's right? The season.
That can't be right. That I've got to fact check that.
It's even in that long run where we were like not winning, we were still picking up the odd draws here and there. So, you know, people think like we lost 10 on a row. We didn't. Plus, there's a few cup ties involved in that. We showed up in the League Cup, etc.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild because like when you think back to that run that we was on, where it was 1 win in 14, and it was like, bloody hell, when is this going to end? Do you know what I mean? And it just like every game we was dropping points. It was like, fucking hell, what is going on here? And then eventually we turned it around. And then the new signings for me were massive. You know what I mean? I really like this Marmouche fella. I do. I think he's going to be.
Gives us something different.
Player. He does. He's a little bit. He reminds me. You remember last year when we had Alvarez playing in like the attacking midfield position, and he scored a lot of goals. And I know sometimes people criticised him in that, but he was a bit clunky in there, but he was effective at his job. Scored goals, got the assists, and ultimately was a good part of the team. And I feel
he worries the other team as well.
Yeah, because he's not. He's a little bit of a. He's not really sort of a Pep sort of style player. I think Marmouche could go the same way, but a little bit more smooth with it. So
he's been he's good. Deep end as well with Haaland injury. So you know he's not having the freedom that he would have done if he was playing with Haaland. So he's got that as well, and he's making it. You know, when you look at where Nunes scored from, that you know because they were expecting Marmouche to be there, gave the space for Nunes to come in at the back post.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of forgot about him at the back post, didn't they? Because they were all worried about the players in the middle. I think they put a video up on Twitter before of the slow motion goal, and Villa seemed to. I'm not taking any credit away from the ball, but they seem to be like, right, just don't get deflection on it, just let it go across. Then all of a sudden, Nunes comes in.
Yeah, no, I was very happy for Nunes because you know he has had a tough year, hasn't he? You know what I mean?
I stick up for him, mate. He's out of position. Yeah. We're playing with 2 midfielders at full back at the moment. You know, we're buzzing off what Riley's doing, but he's not a defender.
Yeah,
he's doing great for us.
Yeah, he's definitely a midfielder. Right, all right. Well, let's have a bit of a chat about what's going on then, because we've already got Benno in the chat. Big up to Benno. It says rumours today that Forest fans are bragging getting a membership and getting up to 5 tickets for Sunday with no prior ticket history. It's embarrassing. Chris, why don't you start us off, mate? What? Give us a bit of an overall view about what's going on. Why are City fans protesting? Why was there a protest yesterday? And then we can get into the nitty gritty of some of the stuff that's going on.
Well, the one yesterday was about the match day prices and the lack of new season tickets. So we're building this new stand. We're going to have 6,000 to 8,000 new seats in this new stand.
The blue wall, yeah.
Yeah, well, the club. The club have said there's not going to be any new season tickets. You know, we've gone 6 years now without any new season tickets. So where we're going to get the next generation of City fans through from? I've got a mate who gave up his season ticket because he's got a disabled lad, and you know he wants to bring his son to the game now, and he's reliant on you know those cup games where it's a tenner ticket because. You know, with his, if we were taking him last night, that would have been 120 quid.
Did you see that post that City put out before the game of that lad with his kid? And I thought,
people showed me.
I think they did that. I think they knew the banner was coming out before the game.
Yeah, just look at that.
Sort of like we'll put that out first.
Yeah, but then they got roasted for it, didn't they? So it's like
They don't get it.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. So 70
Surely
quid
someone
yesterday.
saying, lads, don't put that out.
Yeah.
No,
Not
I
with
know.
what's going on tonight.
I know it's wild. 70 quid it was last night for an adult, and it's and obviously people say, well, get a season ticket then, you don't have to pay 70 quid. Well, that's the problem then, guys, yeah, because they're not doing these season tickets anymore, and that's why there's going to be a protest against Wolves, which we'll come on to in a minute.
We're back on.
Yeah. I think you might. We're fine. Are you all right, Chris? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're back, Nick. You're back, mate. The mutants are trying to get him, chat. The mutants.
I know.
What's
going on here?
Try and refresh it, Nick, or go somewhere with a better connection.
I'm back on.
Yeah. Sweet. So basically, chat. Yeah, obviously we've got these issues with the club not doing new season tickets. They're doing this new stand. They've spent all this money on the new stand. They're saying it's going to be a blue wall, but they're obviously doing no season tickets in there. Now, my understanding is, Nick, I don't know if you can hear us, but they're doing some sort of. They said they're going to do some flexi golds in there. Is that right? In the
flexi golds already in place.
Right.
But what they do is they ask you to you apply for this. They call it a season ticket, and these people who stick up for it, I don't get it, and you apply for it, but they send you an email 3 weeks before the game for you to buy the ticket. But if you miss that date, it goes back in the pot. You don't get a chance to go, oh, can I have another one? That's it. It's not a season ticket.
And
when they say we've got for, sorry, go on, Chris.
Yeah, you have to for this. You have to pay 150 quid up front at the start of the season as well.
Yeah, so you have to pay up, but you have to pay again to get the ticket.
Yeah.
But also, you've got it there, like if they say, oh, we're 37,000 season ticket holders, we're 31,000 season ticket holders, and these flexi gold, and that's what they're trying to put in the new stand as well. They're like, oh yeah, there'll be season tickets. It's not a season ticket. They try to sell it as if it's all one package, but they don't have the same rights.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They don't have the same rights as the season ticket. Your ticket goes. If I buy my season ticket in a couple of weeks, I'm done. That's my season ticket. I've got my ticket for 19 games. They've got to faff around 3 weeks before the game. It's a shambles, and that's what we're asking. We're saying scrap it and just convert them to season tickets.
Yeah,
they obviously want to go to the games.
Let me bring Chris in. Chris, why is it so important? So for people who are not maybe getting this, why is it so important that the club release season tickets? Is it what is it that a season ticket brings in terms of atmosphere? Because I always get it in the chat. People always saying in the chat, "LB, what's going on with the atmosphere? Why's the atmosphere flat?" When they listen to it on TV. Because when I was going there, part of the thing with the season tickets was you knew the guy next to you. You know what I mean? When you know the people next to you, you're more likely to start singing, isn't it? Because it's like, you know the guy, you've been next to him, or the woman, or whoever's next to you, yeah? But when you go in on the one time, a lot of people don't really feel comfortable about blasting out a verse of Blue Moon when they have no idea who's around them. So, speak to me about that sort of why it's important, because I get this all the time in the chat.
Well, my seat, I sit in the family stand because I'm still in the same seat I was when we moved into the ground when I was a little kid. So just because of it, because I know everyone around me, and you've got your own little community. These people, a lot of them, you'll never see them outside of the ground, but you see them. You see them every fortnight. I've seen them every fortnight for the last 20 years. I've seen them grow up. They've seen me grow up, and without that link, it just becomes something that you might you'll pay your money now and then to go to, and you lose that link to the city of Manchester and and not just to the city, just because a guy sits near me. He's from near Edinburgh, and he's one of us, and it's just that link of knowing your people around you, and like you say, the atmosphere. Sometimes in the family stand, it's not the best atmosphere, but I know with people around me, when it gets going, we're going to stand up together and we're going to sing, even if it's only 10 of us around me, and sometimes when you do get a bit lost in the passion of it, you feel you sometimes shout something a bit silly, but then you're surrounded by people who you're surrounded by your friends, basically. Even though you don't see them outside of the ground, these people are your friends and almost your family.
Yeah, that's important, mate. And the thing is with City, it's like my first season ticket was 40 quid. Right, yeah. When I was think it was 2006 or 2007, my first season. It was 40 quid. And yeah, granted, I was obviously, you know, in the kid.
I'd have got you the first half last night.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's literally what I thought last night. I was like, because I seen it last night. I was like, £71 for Villa on a Tuesday night. And it's not even like, we're not even going for a title. We're going for top 5. Like, you don't get a trophy at the end of it. Like, you know what I mean? Not that 70 quid is justifiable anyway, but you get the point what I'm trying to make. And I'm thinking to myself, it was only 15 years ago. I'm not mad old. You know what I mean? It was only 15, 16 years ago that I was getting in for 40 quid for a season. Then it was like 60, and they went up to like 90. And then obviously I got to the point where like you get to the adult and then you kicks in. But even then it was still pretty cheap. And like the fact that they're not bringing these season tickets in anymore, and this blue wall that it just seems like, you know what I mean? Like they built it up and it's going to be this blue wall. And if you don't have the same people in there, and it don't have to be a full 8,000. Like obviously in an ideal world, like that'd be great to have the full 8,000 people in that section of season ticket. But you've got to have like at least half, you know what I mean? You got to have a core group of people in there that know each other week in, week out, or he'll start singing, he's singing, I'm singing with him. Yeah, how you doing, mate? Blah, 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 blah. If you have, and it's not about the people, who are coming in. It's if you go in and you don't know the guy next to you, you know, being in football, we've all been in a football match here where you start singing. Yeah, I remember when I started singing a song, it's nervous, man. It's even more nervous if you don't know the guy next to you. You know what I mean? But if you've been going years, you've been going, you know the people start doing it, man. And it's like, this is why when people are asking me in the chat about LB, I'm listening to the game, got the game on, where's the atmosphere? Why is there empty seats? Like the club are making this happen themselves because their short-term vision is all about the money rather than let's make the product, i.e. the atmosphere, really, really good. And then people will want to come then. People are not going to turn up Tuesday night on a
blue wall looks absolutely amazing on the picture.
Yeah, it won't
but
look like that,
we are 9 months away from it opening, and no one knows any prices.
Yeah.
No one knows how many is going to be corporate, how many is going to be flexi, is there going to be any season tickets that obviously we're still debating. There's absolutely nothing come out. We're 9 months away from this.
My
is there going to be half season tickets next year?
My seat is in where this will be. So I'm about 5 rows back in the family stand top tier. So it's all going on behind me, but I've no idea whether they've. I mean, as far as we know, we won't get moved. We've not had any season ticket information through yet. But
how much of a joke is that? When's this opening?
9 months. January.
9 months, and you still don't have a clue about what's happening.
Nothing.
So we got told that we shouldn't. No one should have to move. But what we don't know is what's actually going to happen behind us. You know, we don't know if that. You know, like you say, you don't know that because I know they wanted to move a lot of people's season tickets there, so they could have that blue wall. But from the sounds of it, you know, people aren't going to be happy doing that. You know, there's just been a complete lack of information.
He did ask 1894 if he wanted to move over there and see if he could get it going. But it was like, well, when the 1894 asked for details, it's like, we can't tell you anything yet. That's like, well, how can we make a commitment if you're not willing to tell us anything?
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to move unless they know the prices, right?
Exactly.
And so you'd probably want to know how many other people are moving over.
Yeah, if we go over there.
Yeah, I'll go over.
And it's not what they say.
And no one else has gone over.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what's going on here, mate?
Yeah, you move over, and then it's not what they actually advertise. You can go, can I move back to 115? Oh, you can't do now, mate. Someone's got your seat.
Yeah.
You can't go back to. They don't even say do it on a trial basis.
And I've got a bad feeling. This based on nothing. It's just that they want to make a lot more of the South Stand corporate, and then use the new stand as a way to get people out. So then they can use those like premium seats, you know, by the pitch as more expensive ones. But I know some people's season tickets information is coming through, but I know there are people in the Colin Bell where it's not really affecting them. So we just have to wait and see with this. But yeah, the fact that there's been nothing whatsoever, and then we just had that. The only thing we had was that announcement last week where they froze the season ticket prices, but they posted it on social media on a bank holiday. Mm. They didn't actually email the fans. They didn't tell people, and that's what all they've said. They've not said you know, anything to do with the like you say the price banding of the new stand. You know, we're having a new stand at some point. If people will, there's 8,000 more seats. People might want to move around. You know, if you've got friends and family in different parts of the stadium, and you think, oh, they've got, I can get 5 of us together in there, but we've just been told nothing. That's another thing. The communication from the club. I know we've got people in City Matters who do a good job, but by the sounds of it, they're as much in the dark as anyone.
Yeah, they're not passing on to them either. Yeah, they've got a massive chance to do something special with that big wall, with the blue wall, and they're just absolutely messing it up at the moment.
It's all
you can't get to October and go, will you move? Because you're already set into the season then. So they're going to release something in the summer, or say on December, oh, by the way, there's a game next week. Well, I'll move there. You ain't going to move people mid-season. You've got to mess around with the tickets, the accessibility, everything, where they can get into.
You know what I find strange, Nick, and Chris? You know what I find strange is, like, they've obviously got some of the smartest brains working at the club.
Yeah.
Football operations, Tiki, Pep Guardiola, they're bringing in this Viana. We've had some world-class players, and obviously everything that they've done financially with all the sponsors and the growth of the academy and all this, right? It's great. But there really does seem to be a little bit of a block when it comes to this fan relationship. And what I don't understand is, why would you not take care of your core fans, your core, your season ticket holders? Take care of them, because they're the majority. And I think it was Dan on one of the shows the other day saying, we've got 30,000 people here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can keep doing this for a long time. It just seems to me like the club is going about this in the wrong way, and it just seems all short term. And you know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. I don't know why the club are going down this road. They really need to have a look at this. And Caldoon, for me, my opinion is Caldoon knows exactly what's going on. I know other people have their own opinions. That's cool. Yeah. People saying that he said don't do this, don't do that. He's the chairman of the club. He knows what's going on, in my opinion. And it's time for me that Caldoon gets hold of this now. Do you know what I mean? And says, hang on, what's going on here? Yeah, because the fans can't afford it. Last night, look how many empty seats were there last night? 70 quid for Villa on a Tuesday night when you're not even going for a title is absolutely disgraceful.
Madness.
It's disgraceful.
If we have another season like this next season.
Sorry, Chris, quickly. Yeah. Someone did like a minimum wage comparison. And you have to work I think it's like 6 or 7 hours of minimum wage just to go and watch the Villa game. And we're not even playing well. You know what I mean? It's not like you're watching prime treble season or prime Centurion season. Again, not that justifies 70 quid, but it's just so frustrating. And I know a lot of the viewers, the amount of people I get messaging me or in the comments that are not from the UK are asking about this and what's going on. And that's why we needed to do the stream. Sorry, Chris, did you say something there?
I'm just saying like this. So obviously we'll have that stand open in the middle of next season. If we have another season like this, they release the prices at the start of the season, so we've got a rearranged game midweek towards the end of the season where prices will be like this again, and then you've got the added thing of another 8,000 seats. If we get a crowd of 50,000 when the ground holds 63,000, that will just look, and when you look that's the other thing as well from the club's perspective. Like you're saying, they're not looking after the season holders, but they're not looking after any match going fan. If you're, even if you're a new fan or someone who lives away, doesn't get to many games, and you think, oh, I might be able to get over for that, and then you look, well, I've got to buy my membership, £35, and I've got to buy my 70 quid ticket, and I've got to buy my kids' tickets. So they're not helping. They're not helping. And I don't know if it's because when you look at a lot of the people in the behind the scenes, a lot of them like big business minds, who've done all sorts of industries, but the football is unique, and there needs to be someone at the club who can say, football fans are different to people who buy a car or something, because you're not buying a car every fortnight. You're not putting down
all this nonsense about, oh, well, when you go see a gig, you pay 100 quid.
Oh, yeah.
That's because you see it once in a. And by the way, again, why are people so Oh, justify it. Oh, we'll justify it. Yeah, we talk about why do people do this? Like, I don't get it. I don't get why people like love to try and justify fans getting screwed over. Oh, but you go to a gig, you pay £100. Yeah, that's bank out of order as well, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stop justifying it. And these are billionaire owners, you know what I mean, that are spending all this money on stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, this is another one that does my head in. Is well, if you want to sign the best players, then you've got to do it. No, you don't.
It's a drop.
Just quickly, if you're going down that route, then why did we only buy Savio and Gundogan on a free in the summer? You know what I mean? Because we'll play that game. The fact is, there's no justification for it. None at all. Yeah, there's no reason for it. They could easily get another sponsorship, and cover the costs.
Yeah, that's
they're just bothered about squeezing the fans, and obviously it's got to the point now where fans have had enough. And it looks like these protests are well supported. I'm seeing a lot of videos. A lot of my mates are season ticket holders. They're telling me what's going on. A lot of the people in the chat who come in and chat seasons, I'm seeing what's going on. I'm seeing it. We're all seeing it. And the club, they're playing a dangerous game here, man, because it's like you don't need to go down this route. There's no need. Yeah, you're squeezing. That is the problem. Yeah, we get that we're an elite level club now. We get that we're a global club. This is a different club to what we was 20, 25 years ago when it was basically your core 30-odd thousand. And you had we get that we're a global fan base and you got people coming all around the world and all that kind of stuff, yeah. But at the same time, you are squeezing people far too much. No one's expecting 20 quid a ticket. Yeah, I'd love that. Of course I would. No one's expecting that. People are just saying, be reasonable. And you ain't being reasonable, mate. And people have had enough now.
Yeah, and, when you look at... It's across the board as well. It's not just at City, across the board in the Premier League. I think Brentford have been doing some good initiatives, but when you look at I was talking to Villa fans outside the ground last night, and they were saying they were charged 81 quid for the Bologna game at home in the Champions League.
Fuck, I'm sorry for laughing. I just can't believe it. 81 quid for Bologna.
Yeah,
that's insane.
But because it was such a because they sold Villa Park out because it was it was the first season back in the Champions League. But if they get in again,
that's exploitation. In my opinion, my book, that's exploitation. Oh, we're back in the Champions League for the first time in how many years? In fact, did they do it under O'Neill? Did they get in the Champions League under O'Neill?
I think he might have just missed out. It might have ended up in Europa.
Oh, they got in there. But anyway, that's exploitation.
42 years since they've been in it.
Is it? Right. I thought they nicked it one year with O'Neill. Now they must have finished.
They might just missed out.
Yeah. Do you remember when they had like Milner and Young and all that?
Ashley Young.
Yeah. He's a good manager, O'Neill.
I think we nicked out their midfield.
Yeah, we did. That's why they hate us.
He must have missed out and we jumped in.
Yeah. All right then, boys. Well, what next then? Where do we go from here? So obviously you've had the protests. That got some success. The scale of success is obviously subjective on the price freezes.
Well, can I just put one thing in there, Albie?
Yeah, sure.
We did get another 100 sign-ups for 1894. Now, I don't know what the score is with trade union, whether it's membership, etc. But we got another 100, 120 added on to 1894 just overnight. And even Chris was there, I was there last night handing leaflets out, and we were giving them out. I even gave them to the Villa fans and said, take them the away end.
And it's because on various things I've been out leafleting for various things before, and I've never known people come up to you and like the amount of people who just come up to you and stop you and say, what's this about? And then read it and go, the majority of people are already aware of what was going on, but the amount, like I say, especially Villa fans, but people reading it, some season ticket holders, all they do, they pay the ticket, come to the game. They're not really aware of other issues, and then when they were reading it and when they read the prices, and they were saying that people just shocked. And when you tell them, when you said to them as well, we've been losing season ticket holders because there's not been replacing them. And I think people are just getting fed up, and they want to make a difference. And they saw that people saw that they did the walk. We did the walkout against Leicester, and then a few days later, the club announced a price freeze for season tickets. So in a way, that's worked. That worked so well because people have seen that and gone, well, we did that, and then straight away we got one of our demands. So people now know that we do have a voice, and if we keep making ourselves heard, which is
mind of it, but we've got to carry it on, like you said.
Yeah,
we've got to all work together, like with the trade union, 1894 Food Bank, and other groups. It can't just be one and go, oh, we're okay now.
So yeah,
we're not there to battle the club on everything.
This is my question. This is my question now, Nick. Then, so what are fans looking for? What are the 1894 looking for? What's the outcome that we're fighting for here?
Well, I think it's everything. The ticket prices, obviously, I'm a season to get all the so I've to get to a game. You don't realise the season to get you just pay your 500, 600, 700, whatever, and you're done for the season. You don't realise it. But we've got to look after everybody. At 1894 Food Bank Trade Union, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, but within reason. Like I said, we're not there to just battle the club, but we've got to make them realise, because people talk about, people go, oh God, it's them main road lot complaining again. But there'd be no Sheikh Mansour, no Etihad, anything like that without the main road lot. So they need to realise you've got to look after the core as well as embracing new people coming to the game. People try to make it's sort of old school versus tourists, and it's not. I had a Chinese bloke next to me at the Liverpool game. He took a few pictures, took a few videos. As soon as the game stopped, his phone went away and he sang away. That's what you want. You want everybody just to come, enjoy it, and get behind the team.
And
it's not a tourist. It's not a tourist thing. It's everybody just wants to be a City fan, but you want to price it right. I had an American guy give him this leaflet. He went, "I'm only here for tonight." I said, "No, but next time you come, you might have a problem." So it's not just about tonight. Go on, Chris.
People get bogged down in the supporters versus tourists thing, and I think that we are football is a worldwide sport now, and especially the Premier League is worldwide. So we know there's always going to be worldwide fans, and like we say, we've got loads more seats to fill coming up. So we need to help these people come into the ground and feel welcome. And the club, I think the club themselves are working against that because they're people now are saying, oh, look at these people coming who can afford to spend £70, or they can afford to spend £300 buying one off via GoGo or Your Ticket Web or wherever they get it from. And it's just we've all been, I'm sure you have as well. If you're on holiday somewhere, you look at the local team, you think, oh, I'll go to a game there, and especially in like I say in the Premier League. So we need to be careful that we help. We don't just we do this for everyone who wants to go to the games, and that will and people excited for a one-off game. They'll help the atmosphere as well. I'm sure they will. Like you were saying before about the fella next year.
I think for me, obviously, like you'll all have your own, because obviously Nick's at the 1894, your trade, and you got the food bag. I'm sure you work together, but I'm sure you have different goals, albeit that they're similar. I think for me, it's simple. Yeah, the club have to bring back season tickets.
Yeah,
if the fan base, especially your local fans, they have to be able to take, get a season ticket. You got to be able to take your kid and grow them. And again, it's bizarre. Because if you get that fan in, you've got them in for life, you know what I mean? And it's constant recurring revenue, and it's such short. So you've got to bring back some season tickets. Again, maybe not everyone's asking for 50,000 season tickets or whatever.
Yeah, you can't go 100% because you've got to have the people who can't afford to do every year.
It's all about being reasonable, and this is why it's just so stupid, because it's just so unreasonable that it's unbelievable that they're even going down the street. You've got to bring back season tickets. People got to be access, have a waiting list, whatever, but you've got to have some sort of season ticket availability for season tickets. Match prices. You guys are just living in a
different freezing. They've got to come down.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are not living in the real world. Yeah, I don't know if there are mad salaries in working there, but telling you now, people are struggling, in 70 quid on a Tuesday night for Villa at home, when you're not even going for a title, is absolutely ludicrous. It's ludicrous, guys.
A guy got it right on Talk Sport this morning. He rang up talking to Wyatt and Jordan. Now they're okay. They just ring Arsenal or Palace or City and go, "Oh, can we come down?" Whatever, and they get in. They're not queuing up. They're not going any way and say Simon Jordan for Crystal Palace. But a guy rang up and he said, "Just as Sheikh Mansour's rich and just as Manchester City rich, I'm at the pay rise. My wages haven't gone up just because I support a rich club."
No, exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous, man. Like, I don't know whose job it is. And maybe we need some more transparency on that as well. Who decides this ticket pricing? Who decides it? Is it one person? Is it a group? Is it the board? Who is it? And how are you doing it? Are you looking at the salaries, mate? 70 quid. Honestly, that is absolutely ludicrous. I see this arguably. I know it's slightly cheaper, but Wolves at home. I've seen a tweet today. Apparently that starts at 61. 61 quid for Wolves.
You're seeing it at Plymouth. You're seeing it at Plymouth and Salford. The kids are absolutely buzzing to see Haaland. Even your McAtees, because they go, "You know what? I can make it a City." These guys have come through as kids because same age, McAtee and Foden, they were at the club. They're excited to see these guys, your world superstars and the young kids coming through. That could be me. That's my dream. But then you go, "Oh, Dad, we can win the title next week." Sorry, son, I can't afford to go. I can't go West Ham at home, or I can't go Aston Villa at home.
That's not right. That's not right.
Yeah. Because they're absolutely buzzing to be there on them cup ties.
You know they're not posture yesterday.
United, but
and it like you say, it showed those cup games against Salford and Plymouth. We didn't have a problem selling them out.
Yeah. So the fan base is there if you price it right.
Oh, that stadium should be packed. This is the thing. It shouldn't just be packed. You should have people fucking just going to the stadium to try and get a ticket because it's so busy that everyone's there. He's fucking, you know what I mean? You got the guy, I don't know his name, the guy on Twitter who does the Man City ticket account.
The club are going for him, aren't they?
Well, and
doing people a favour.
Yeah, doing face value ticket. The amount of time I see him on there doing like, ticket 15 quid or whatever, 10 or, you know.
I met him at Leighton Orient the other week. He's a great lad, but you know what? He don't make a profit out of it. Someone might turn up and go, "Cheers, I'll get buy you a pint." And he's not sat there making millions out of it.
We've got these new rules coming in next season as well with the season tickets. They're moving it up to you have to, they're moving it. You have to go to 16. You have to your ticket has to be used for 16 games. So that's whether you transfer it or transfer it to a friend or family. Transferring it to if the club want you to transfer it so it gets used, that's not too bad because your ticket's getting used. And if if I'm sending it to someone, it's going to be one of my friends or family, someone who can't normally get to a game. What the club wants to do now is they're saying 10. You have to go physically to 10 a season. And so, like, just for me, I'm going away for a few months next year. So I don't know if I physically can make those 10 games. What if you have family emergencies?
Could you ring the club up and say, "All right, club, we've got a good relationship. I've been coming years. You know what I mean? We're meant to have a really good open relationship. I'm going abroad for a couple of months, work, family, whatever it is. Can I give you the ticket back? You sell it, and then is there anything like that, or are they just like what goes on?"
They've not put any information out about that at all. They've just said you have to physically use it yourself for 10 games, and it has to be used for 16 games.
Does that mean facial recognition's coming in?
Well, when they say personal,
they don't know whether it's you going in that ground.
They've changed it as well. Like you can only now at the moment. Anyone who has a supporter number, you can transfer your ticket to them. But from next season, you can only do it. Them doing it for 3 people, so you can have 3 people with supporters numbers. You can transfer it to. Anyone else has to have a paid membership of £35 if they want to.
So making it just more hoops.
Yes, making it even harder.
When they brought this new system in, they said, it's going to help. All you have to do is just, once you've done it a few times and you transfer your ticket to someone, it is dead easy. But now everyone's got used to that, and they've said, all right, now we're going to bring all these other hoops to jump through, and it just feels like every year they just drip feed like more and more things to just make going to the game a harder and harder process.
A way of pushing things to get holders out, possibly.
Yeah. Well. Yeah,
but as I said on Twitter today, we haven't got United 30,000, Real Madrid 30,000, Barcelona all begging for tickets. We haven't got that in the background waiting to pounce to jump in, and that's what they're not realising.
As we showed last night, we don't have we don't have a waiting list of 30, 40,000 people like Liverpool and United and Real Madrid. And until that happens, the club, I think, it might take a few generations. We may never get to that point. So the club need us, and they seem to be doing everything in their power to alienate us rather than bring us together.
And I don't get it either. You want that hardcore at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That hardcore is what your club's built on, then you add on top of it. Which is why the extension, I get the extension, but you've got to price it right, and that'll be full and it'll be bouncing.
And it's not like, our hardcore fans are, it's not like we're some of these European hooligans who are costing the club thousands every game in having the stadium.
Getting fines and bans.
I mean, how often do you ever see trouble at City? So I don't understand why they're trying to alienate us, or even if they're not trying to alienate us, maybe they're not trying. Maybe they're just so clueless to football culture they don't realise that they're. They don't
You'd like to think somebody's having a word, but it's whether like even who works for the club, who grew up a City fan, or even grew up a football fan, who can just say, "Look, lads, you've got to understand what's going on here." And they've had long enough. They've been here 17 years now.
Well,
it's not like all of a sudden it's like, there's a problem.
Well, this is why I think that everybody knows what's going on. I think Karl knows what's going on, and I think it's they need to sort it, man, because it's not on. You know what I mean? You're pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's bang out of order. Right, before we wrap it up, Wolves. There's another walkout before. Is that a walkout or how do you describe it? Because you're actually
it's 6 minutes. Stay on the concourse again.
Yeah,
so it's for the amount of years no season ticket.
So 6 minutes, and after 6 minutes, the fans that are participating will then go into the stadium, and hopefully.
Well, we're in the stadium, but like concourse. So some people might decide to just not go in till 6 minutes.
But I think the Leicester game showed that visually is a massive statement. It's empty, especially when Grealish scored in front of all.
Was you quite surprised at how many people actually did it? Because I didn't expect that many people to do it.
I expected a few, considering the response we'd got, but it was a pleasant surprise, and I think it shows the support that we've all got.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw it,
take a hit for that one day for the future.
Yeah. No,
I think somebody said it.
Mad. Go on.
I think somebody said on Twitter. He said, "Miss 9 minutes against Leicester in 2025, so you can go and watch City versus Leicester in 2035."
Yeah.
It's like you can miss 9 minutes. It's mad because the fans want to do it and they do understand. And some might just get to the ground goal. You know what? Like I said with the Twitter and everything, not everyone's on it, but when they get there, they know what's going on here. All right, I'll stay with you. The people talk and they'll say, "Right, yeah, I'm right behind you."
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Just like I said, through these podcasts, through the Twitter, it's like Chris was saying, the price freeze. There was a lady come up to us last night, and she said, "Oh, what's going on?" "Oh, I didn't know about price freeze." But she's like 70-year-old. She's not going to know. It's not been put out there.
Yes.
She gets emails, obviously, off the club to get a scene to get to download it to her phone, etc. like that. But City never sent anything out.
Yeah.
So we were waiting to see if there's something to come out today. Obviously, or yesterday, with us being bank holiday.
Nothing.
So,
still nothing. No.
We just have to see what they come up with. But all we can do is try our best. So.
Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully, they actually see it, and this is not good for the club. You know what I mean? That this is happening, and obviously the fans don't want to be doing this. The fans don't want to be thinking.
I want to go. I want to go to the game with my mates, with my family, with my dad, and I just want to go and enjoy. Enjoy the time, enjoy watching the game, have a laugh. I don't want to be getting there an hour and a half, 2 hours early, having to organise this.
Yeah.
But
sounds like
there's enough going on in the world at the moment that we've got problems with.
Yeah, exactly.
You go to football or whatever's your thing, not as necessarily football, but you go there to get away from everything. That's your break. If you're having problems with your wife, if you're having problems at home, if you've got problems at work, forget about it for 2 hours. I'll come and watch City. You don't want to be then going, what the hell's going on here? Have you this what City doing or this what? It's like, mate, you've been at work all day, forget about it. But you can't do because that's who you're speaking to. You're speaking to your mates who are going through the same thing, having the same issues.
Yeah, no, spot on, mate.
That's what we need to do. There's a City Masters meeting next Thursday, so we're just going to see what comes out of that before the Wolves game.
Well, exactly. It sounds like to me, City have got to just be reasonable, mate, because at the moment
the ball's in the club's court now. Because we've said, if we get if they make positive changes or they agree to meet us somewhere after the City Masters meeting, if they say, oh, we'll work towards this, we've said, well, we can we can postpone the action against Wolves, but it's on until the club actually even acknowledge us as well.
Well, I know for a fact one of the guys who runs the podcast has contacted the club and said, "Do you want to put someone on?" We don't think they will, but we've given them the option to come on. Not gonna like sideswipe you and jump in and go, we're going to do you. It's like say what you want to say. Tell us your side of it.
Give us your
at the moment, communication's awful.
Yeah,
and that's not right. That a proper club for me should be to and fro. You should be able to contact them any problems they, you know what I mean? And it's crazy.
I don't expect Karl to ring me at home. Like it's like just send someone who knows what's going on. But also, do you know what else is going to affect the club as well now? And it's happening at press conferences. Pep's getting sandbagged by the media on this. Pep doesn't want to be speaking about it. He's chasing Champions League. We're not there to disturb what's going on. Hence, we did the protest outside last night. But Pep's getting questions about it, and he's like, well, these guys are my mates, but this is the fan base, I don't want to be upsetting either side. I want to just be talking about, if Haaland coming back, how's Ederson for weekends, what's happening to Nico Riley, who do you think played well last night? That's what he wants to be talking about.
But then it also puts him in because I've seen people have a pop at him before as well when he's doing all this. Oh, come on, we need the stadium to be rocking and blah blah blah. And then people are like,
your mate.
Well, hang on a minute, Pep. You keep saying this, but you keep charging us fucking 70 quid a pop. What are you talking about? And it's like, does he fully know what's going on? I don't know what he.
But he said after the game last night, didn't he? He mentioned it. He said how he doesn't have to pay, but he realizes. He realizes that there's empty seats because people can't afford to go.
Yeah.
So if
ticket price
in that,
exactly. Yeah. All right. Well,
we're in a cost of living crisis at the moment. I'm at my second job now, but that pays for City. So you've got to do your second job. So not everyone has, luckily, but that's what I do to make sure I'm at City.
Yeah.
So
all right, then.
Everyone does what they need to do.
It is maybe a question for you, Nick, because you're 1894. As an overseas fan, is there any way to support? What can this guy do? Is there anything that this guy can do? Whether it's become a member, whether it's like retweet stuff, whether it's following stuff. What can he do? Anything?
You can donate to 1894. I'm not sure whether trade union will know more on their side. Yeah. If you go on the We Are 1894 page, you can donate to the banners, the flags, etc. None of the money goes to us. Obviously, it's all to do with the banners. Any displays we do, obviously with Kevin De Bruyne leaving and stuff like that. Obviously, we try and plan something for most games.
And I think as an overseas fan, I think it's just a lot of this will be awareness, so they're aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
and like you say, just keeping up to date on social media. A lot of these things are how to help is difficult when you're not actually physically together in the grounds. But keep up to date on social media, and maybe just what I did notice. And I don't know if the club did. The club actually noticed this, but when you were talking about that tweet yesterday with the father and the son walking to the game, when you looked at the replies to it. With like 200 replies, and everyone was just saying, "Are you taking the piss?" So I think if people, even if it's just things like that, just letting the club know that people aren't happy, and like I say, it will affect overseas fans as well because they're not going to be able to get
But also, they enjoy seeing the displays, and obviously everyone buzzing and the atmosphere is bouncing. It makes and that's even for us. If we can't get to an away game or we can't go to the home game. You want the atmosphere coming through. Yeah. And people say, they don't mind if the atmosphere is rubbish. For the TV companies mind as well. Because they try to sell a product. That ain't going to sell if everyone's just sat there like at a theatre. It's part of it, the English atmosphere, and it's not like I said, it's not just us, it's everywhere. So they try to sell a product at the end of the day. They want the atmosphere, so.
No, absolutely. Spot on. Big up to Martin as well. Says, massive thanks to you, Nick. Chris Dancer for great show last night. Fight for our
Yeah,
future
mate,
fans
right,
home
so-
and abroad,
Yeah.
and our grandkids says Martin there with the
Yeah.
with the chat. Yeah, that's it, man. And like I say, the overseas fans, you know what I mean. If you want to get involved, you want to follow this and understand what's going on. Your best thing for me is just follow 8094 on Twitter.
Yeah,
Which is
8094, the MCFC Food Bank as well,
Yeah.
fans supporting food banks. They're a great resource because they're quite independent of the club.
Yeah.
And they're made of. I know them all very well, and they're made up of some very, very dedicated people.
Yeah, these are fucking good people, by the way. Yeah, these are people who turn up at the game. Yeah, when they could be in the pub and they sit there and they sit there taking food off people to go and donate to a food bank, man. Like, which side do you want to be on? You want to be on the side of the people who are charging you 71 quid on a Tuesday night for Aston Villa when we're not playing for anything, or do you want to be on the side of the people who are giving up their free time, man? Like, this is for me.
As they like to say, you can't argue with a food bank.
Well, you can, but you're a bit of a twat, can't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think someone said to Nick from the food bank last night, said, "Oh, you're doing great work." He went, "Yeah, but it's work I don't want to be doing because we shouldn't have food banks." But obviously, he takes his time out. Plus others, I think they're there from, if we have a 3 o'clock kickoff, they're there from about 12:30, like 2.5 hours for every game. They're there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing
Big up to
stuff,
Jack as well here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more of this on social media as well. Fans are now. You see what's happened, over the last 10 years. There's been a banter element towards that. We're going to wrap up now, don't we? There's been a banter element. Oh, look at this, and we probably done it to them. They probably done it to us. But what's happened? I think in the last 12 months, there's been a real shift of fans. Instead of bantering each other, going, hang on a minute, we're all bantering each other while the clubs are getting rich.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I think seeing stuff like this, other fans and that, fans of other clubs getting involved and backing.
Stop exploiting loyalty.
Yeah,
I think I went out to Bournemouth. We did one with Bournemouth. There was one at Ipswich. City and Liverpool did one. We had one at the Etihad across the away end and the home end. And it ended up that the police come and got involved, despite the fact we had permission from the club. The club were like, "Yeah, put it up, not a problem." And it was half in the south stand, half in the away end. For some reason, the police got involved. I don't get it. Because we even spoke to the head of security and she went, "Yeah, go for it. We've got the letter or etc. We've got to go ahead. Go for it." Yeah. And it's like I said, Liverpool had the extension of 8,000, and again they only give 1,000 season ticket holders. But then people are complaining their atmosphere's got even worse. So these clubs aren't helping themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not just City, man. Like the atmosphere.
That's why I was giving them. That's why I was giving a leaflet to Villa fans. Saying, "Look, this is coming. This could be here in a couple of years."
Yeah,
that should be qualified Champions League again.
When you go to these games away from home, and you speak to them, and I know West Ham fans were saying it for years. Go to us when you go down there. They're saying what's happening here is going to happen to you. Them and Spurs with the with their concessions, getting rid of the concession prices. Yeah. I think Spurs have won that. I think Spurs have got them back.
I think West Ham might have won it as well.
Yeah.
Or they've got a big meeting planned. I know the Spurs won, they won theirs.
Yeah, so you go around the country and you speak to people and you learn from each other now as well. Like say in the past it used to be winding each other up about it, but it seems to be people seem to be a lot more aware of it. And like say you go down there, you speak to locals in the pub and they say, "Oh well, this is what's worked for us," and it has made for a completely different atmosphere. I found it a lot of away games recently outside the grounds.
Well, we all know social media can be toxic, but on this, it's good for spreading the word. So, like I said, the Liverpool fans come on and said that. The Living City fans on their podcast. Like I said, we've done stuff with Ipswich, Leicester, West Ham, Tottenham, everything. United, Everton, City, and Liverpool had a joint one a few months ago as well. And I think we've had people going down to the Premier League actual headquarters, everything. So
there you go. All right. Well,
and they don't want to be seeing it. So
no, exactly. Right, listen, chat. If you want to any more info on this, or you want to watch a little bit more, then there's been podcasts on Martin's channel. There's been podcasts on We Are 8094. You can follow 8094 on Twitter. We had a South Stand YouTube channel that was on there as well. There's loads of stuff.
And it was
man,
on
if you want.
Pubcast as well.
Pubcast, yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah,
actually.
Pubcast 9320 was on.
Yeah. I watched that one. Pubcast have been on that as well. If you've got any questions, the 8094 Twitter, at them, DM them if the DMs are open, whatever. I'm sure they'll respond. You know what I mean? You got any queries? Maybe you don't get it or whatever. Message them, and I'm sure they'll respond and give you their opinions. If you want to become a member or whatever, then see what's going on there on the page. If you want to join any of the trade union guys, then have you got a Twitter page or something?
Yeah, we've got Twitter. We've got a Twitter and a Facebook, and we have semi-regular meetings in person, and we send out mailers. We're still quite new, so we're still getting to grips with what works best. But at the moment, it's we've had a few in-person meetings, and a lot of just mailers and social media. So just check. I think our handle is just at Trade Union Blues on Twitter.
Right. Trade Union Blues.
It's just at Trade Union Blues on Twitter, and Facebook. If you just search Trade Union Blues, we'll come up on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Well, listen. If you've got any comments, you can whack them in the comment section, and we'll if I see anything that I don't know the answer to myself, I'll whack it to the guys. But listen, smash a like on the stream, guys, if you've not done so already. We're gonna go and do watch AC Milan, Inter Milan as well. So if you fancy a bit of that, then feel free to join. But yeah, big up to Chris, big up to Nick, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. See you later.
Apologies for the Wi-Fi. I'm working at Old Trafford.
No.
Getting a bit of